And a very, very warm welcome to all of you, and thanks for joining us on Curling Stadium. This is the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Swift Current is our venue, and our game for you today should be a beauty. Kevin Cailey taking on Evan Van Amsterdam in the B bracket. Hans Frauenlob here, joined by Connor Sims. How you doing, Connor?
I'm good. Definitely looking for a good matchup today.
Kevin Cailey playing the Redstones. He's got the hammer here in the first. Tight center guard thrown by Van Amsterdam. Cailey throwing a wide corner. And we are into the action.
We got a bit of a provincial rivalry today. There's a little preview for the Boston Pizza Cup.
Yeah, Calgary versus Edmonton, the classic confrontation, isn't it? Alberta battle here in Swift Current. Attempted corner freeze, little bump, little bounce. There is some visibility here. Sterling Middleton. And Connor, you picked up on this as we were running down the lineups pregame. We got a head-to-head matchup of former junior teammates here at the second slot today.
Yeah, Sterling Middleton and Tyler Tardy both played juniors, obviously, winning those 3 back-to-back Canadian championships and World Championships. I believe they won all 3 of them, but I'm not 100% on that.
Facing up directly today. Tardy playing second stone, and here is Tyler Tardy. Once again, very, very nice crowd here today in Swift Current enjoying the action as Tardy runs back, blows by the stone in the top 8. Spills and bites the edge of the 12, and we see some of the spectators. 2 levels of viewing behind the sheets as well. Beautiful facility here in Swift Current. Every player I've seen quoted over the course of this week and other events that have come to Swift Current, nobody doesn't like playing here. Everybody enjoys it. Amsterdam going to ask Middleton to make a play on this stone, just biting the edge of the rings, looking to spill towards the center. Gets the hit, gets the inside flop. Not quite covering the edge of that stone in the front 8 with a pretty nice pass there from Sterling.
Yeah, both teams electing to play with rocks in play, but a little more open than what we've seen earlier today with the Epping Jacobs game.
Yeah, that was psycho right from the first pitch, really, wasn't it? That Epping Jacobs game, they went right at it, freeze, first end. Comparatively speaking, a little bit more wide open, even though we've got 4 rocks in play, but Kevin Cailey lining up those front stones. So there may not be 4 rocks in play for long. And there go 2 of them. Nice execution there from Tyler Tardy. You need to be playing a really patient game when you're playing the likes of a Kevin Cailey, don't you, Connor? You just have to accept the fact that even if you're feeling like you're accumulating rocks in play, that there could be a couple of back-to-back doubles, back-to-back clears, and all of a sudden nothing in play, and you just have to kind of suck it up and carry on.
You'll close your eyes, think you're good, look up and be like, where the heck did these rocks come from?
Oh, nice result there. Chipping out the shooter and getting some separation.
Be curious to see if Kevin will draw around this corner here. Or the hit and roll, that works too.
Yep, he did take a look at the come around. And you see
that yellow being in the back 12, it's pretty juicy.
Yeah, definitely inviting to get in front of it if you can. So Kevin trying for a 2-for-1 deal. Sluchinski. And try to hit about half and spill right across the house and ideally sit in front of that stone in the back ring. Martin trying to hold line. This one's really moving though. Going to catch it thin. And has that yellow one there as a saver. So doesn't sit in front of it. Pushes it.
Still drags the play over there, so it kind of does the job.
It does. That yellow biter might come into play if this winds up into a force situation.
It'll be important for Jason Ginter to stick his shooter after this throw here.
Lining it up. Middleton saying it's not heavy. Concha leaning on it, trying to hold line. Want to keep it on the rings. It's going to pop, it's going to spill. And, wow, 2 Klingons. How about that? Nice pocket, though, for Cooey to use this wide corner guard. Both very deep in the house.
And here comes the draw coming in here now.
This will be Aaron Sluchinski.
The new guy on the team.
It's hard to keep track, isn't it? Kind of every game you've got, you're saying, okay, is this the same 4 that started the year? Because there have been so many team changes, but certainly, yes, Aaron is the new guy in the Cooey foursome.
I guess it's not really new anymore. He's been with them for a couple months at least now, I think.
Yeah, certainly have been playing enough games together now to have a very good sense of how this lineup plays and how they want to attack ends. This one's going to come up short, however. And worse for Cooey. Overlapping the corner guard, protecting those 2 stones in the back, so it's a pretty stellar force opportunity here now for Van Amsterdam. Hard to see Cooey, even Kevin Cooey, blanking this in.
Yeah, you see Evan pointing, like, if they draw to the open side here, or is that Sterling? Sterling's pointing that they need to be back 4 if they draw to the open side right now, so they don't leave Cooey hit and roll right into those 2 yellows and make it easier for him.
Well, that is testament for me around kind of how Kevin Cooey gets in your head as an opponent, right? Because against most mortals, you'd say, all right, we'll just draw one back to the 4-foot open side. And against Kevin Cooey, you're thinking, oh boy, that's still flat, but it's still a makeable triple for that guy. So you spend a few extra seconds thinking about stuff that in a normal game you just wouldn't, only because you've got Kevin Cooey as your opponent. But by having to throw it into that spot, it does cut down the range of tolerance for Evan. Very good, his back 8-foot. Trying to set up the force.
I don't know if you noticed this here, but I'm liking Jason's gloves there. The purple, all purple gloves with the purple jackets.
All right. Connor Sims, a man with an eye for fashion. That draw comes up well short. I don't want to blame the kind of extra thinking that they had to do because they were worried about lining up the double, but you know what? I mean, you're thinking a little extra for a shot that most of the time should be, or a relatively routine call. And I just think that little extra thinking kind of somehow messes with your mechanics rather than just saying, oh yeah, drop the broom down, throw it there, go and throw it. Saying, is that good enough, or do we need to have it a little bit deeper? And all of a sudden you're coming up 6 feet short.
I'm wondering if was any changes in the ice between these two teams played last, because they both seem to struggle with their draws, especially in the draw of the button. They're both not in the 4 foot, which is unnormal for these caliber teams.
Well, Kevin Cooey punishing the mistake. Lovely come around there. Great angle. And we did see Evan being 4 feet heavy with his draw the button attempt pre-game. So maybe he was just making an adjustment from that, and maybe that was in the back of his brain more than the brush location. Regardless, it's going to be a really tricky shot here for Evan. He does have an opportunity to punch it out the side door. But if he hits what he can see, he'll jam those stones in the back ring. So it's going to be an important line read for Sterling Middleton. Holding the brush. Kinter and Conchu on the brushes. Ready to hammer this one out of hand. Van Amsterdam. It's not light. Sweeping for curl. He's got contact. Oh, he grazes it, but no, doesn't push it off the rings. So Kevin Cooey out of nowhere. Opportunity to get the skipper's pair.
Guess this is what you call a skipper's deuce if he makes this, right?
Absolutely. And the lovely half around come around on his first. Forces the error from Van Amsterdam. Now a chance to slam the gate shut and put a 2 on the board here in the first. Final stone, end number 1 for Kevin Cooey. Tardy and Martin seem pretty happy with it. Down a quite similar path to his first shot, so it should feel fairly familiar for Kevin. We'll get to the tee line, but certainly not enough to get through the 12 foot. Comes to rest in the back of the 8 foot, so it is a 2 on the board for Kevin Cooey, leading 2-0 after 1 in Swift Current. Second end underway in Swift Current at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. B bracket action, Kevin Cooey taking on Evan Van Amsterdam. Hans Frauenlob along with Connor Sims. Very nice start for Kevin Cooey. Really produced the 2 out of his own pocket there, Connor.
Yeah, a nice draw on his first, and forced Evan to play a tough pick, and got the miss and was able to just draw for his second point.
Van Amsterdam playing the Yellowstones has got hammer here in 2. Corner guard up, center rock in, and a very tight center guard. Carrick Martin.
Yeah, you'll see the classic setup here for a team trying to score and a team trying to defend them from scoring.
Gonshu Trying to duck around that corner guard that he set. Always a good feeling as a lead. Say, okay, throw a corner guard and then come around it yourself. Yeah, great.
Say both leads executed perfectly there.
Yeah, very nice stone.
That's why the lead should get paid the big bucks.
Totally, always. Always been a supporter of the Front Enders Union.
Such an important position.
Oh, absolutely. 5 rock free guard zone really changed the way that you think about curling lineups, and to my mind, well, every position's important, but for me, lead is, in terms of outcome of games, equally important as the skip position. If the lead is playing poorly, you're losing. There's just no way around it. Rock placement with the 5 rock free guard zone is everything. And if your lead is setting the table, most of the time you're going to win.
Yeah, it also prevents you from having to chase and makes the, as you go through the lineup, it makes the next person's shots easier or harder depending on how the lead leads off the end, I guess.
No, exactly right, Connor. That's the way I always used to think about it. If I was calling a game, I would always be thinking, if I have to make my opponent spend 2 stones to deal with one of mine, we're golden. And so that almost always comes from lead rock placement. Stacking guards, overlapping guards, making good come-arounds, freezes. If your lead's making shots like that, then you are putting your opponent later in the end into situations where they're having to deal with clutter like this.
I feel this is a really good example, for a good call by Evan Van Amsterdam here. Because he took a guard that wasn't in play. He could have just ripped it and tried to make a double, but instead he chose to roll it in and added another stone for Kevin Cooey to have to look at all end.
Now, it's a very good point from the overhead. That certainly looks like it's biting, and Kevin Cooey says, yeah, I'm not going to leave it there. Asking Tyler Tardy to come out to the wing to deal with it. Always a test for the outside sweeper when you got those sideboards coming at you. You're squeezing the side of the sheet like that. You want to stay with the rock, but you don't want to be catching the foam rubber either.
I don't even just walk away. Cheers.
Exactly. You got to know when to pull the chute. Nothing worse than catching the foam rubber and all of a sudden you're doing a tumbling act out there on the ice. Middleton looking to hammer the front. Sends him flying. Oh, lovely shot. Hard to make it better than that. Well worth another look.
Great slide here by Middleton and a clean release. Couple sweeps there by Jason, and boom, now Cooey's looking at 3 yellows. Or 1 yellow, but
yeah, that yellow is guarded. So good situation brewing here for Van Amsterdam after that triple clear. Middleton. Who came up light on a draw in the first end, making the adjustment here, trying to come to this backstone. Not surprisingly, adjusting a little bit heavy, but he had that backing, so does save the shooter. But there is a port there for Van Amsterdam.
Yeah, this does open the door here a bit for Van Amsterdam if he can make a nice hit and roll here.
Jason Ginter. Good solid slide, good clean release. Navigates the port, looking for a little flop. Gets a little flop. Not bad. Hard for Kevin to get inside nose on that one, I'd say.
Oh, that hole didn't look very big, and he made it look like it was,
Like the Grand Canyon.
yeah.
So Cooey will be able to navigate and follow the leader through the port, but hard to see this ending up anywhere other than in the open after the shot.
Big car sweep here.
Carrick Martin doing everything he can to get it to nose, and he's going to do that. Look at that sweep, and what a touch. Fantastic shot. Great shot from Sluchinski, but Carrick Martin, watch the carve.
Took that pretty much just before halfway, and it was all his. Perfect weight by Aaron Sluchinski here.
No, absolutely. The weight was spot on perfect. Great shot. Still behind the tee line, so still an opportunity for Van Amsterdam to think about a pair, but that shot from Aaron probably takes 3 away. Pretty decent shot there as well. I would have liked
I think
a
this
little
shot
bit
through
more
the
finish.
hole might be the easiest shot in curling.
These guys are making it look surprisingly easy.
Try that 10 times, I probably wreck 8.
Yeah, it is far from easy, but such is the cleanliness of release and the strength of the sweeping of these top-tier teams. You can really control a rock well if you throw it clean and you throw it quiet. You can get on it, you can get off it, you can hold line, and then you know that you're going to get the late finish.
Looking at the ice Cooey's taken on this shot just goes to show you how great the ice conditions have been for them all week.
Yeah, that's very, very true, Connor. And he read the shot down this track that Aaron threw. Saw how much Carrick was able to move it in the last 10 feet. Wouldn't be surprised if he's thinking, I can get the nose of this thing. Shot's on its way. Already keeping it clean. Carrick Martin ready to carve. Now the heavy lean. And this rock is making its move, bringing it all the way back, and he does in fact get to nose. Nice shot, Kevin Cooey. These guys are good, Connor.
Yeah. Just the weight. I think that's a big difference between top teams and teams that are still working on getting to the top there. It's just the weight control and bringing the sweepers into every shot is definitely impressive. Because you could say, I'm going to throw a hack at this, but then that part of you throws that board, but no, they throw that perfect weight every time.
Exactly. In the case of Kevin and Aaron, they were probably thinking, okay, I'm going to throw it 6 inches past back line. And they threw it exactly there. Evan Van Amsterdam then lining it up. chasing a little bit now. That stone straddling the tee line. Gonna have to move it a little bit at least. Aaron and Kevin have shown him the way. Can he follow? Big sweep for Curl here. This is going to walk over a lot. Gets it through the port. Now it's an audible. They're going to try for the inside roll, and they do. Spill to back of button. I think that was the best option.
Just look at the finish last second here on this stone. It's on that front guard all day and then just pulls right off of it.
Yeah, Parker Conshu did a great job just to get it by the guards. And then they call the audible going for the inside roll, knowing that they weren't going to get to nose. But they do sit back button, and Kevin Cooey wasted no time, patted his brush right on the lid and said, we're just going to weld up to it. Looking to lock one on. Make it very difficult for Van Amsterdam to score if he can weld this on nose. Carrick trying to promote curl. The line wasn't great and was a little bit heavy. So that little pop, all of a sudden, here's the chance for the two right back. Just 4 feet of weight makes all the difference on that shot. 3 feet lighter, probably a perfect freeze. But with that weight, pop, bounce, flop in the open. Evan Van Amsterdam with a clear pass to the shooter and a chance to tie it up. Final stone of end number 2 is on its way for Evan Van Amsterdam. You seem pretty happy with it, and why not? There it is. Quick as you like. Dropping a 2 and then scoring a 2 straight back, and after 2 ends of play, as Early Win used to say, deuces are wild on the scoreboard here in Swift Current. Third end of our game, Kevin Cooey versus Van Amsterdam. Trading pairs. Cooey, playing the Redstones, has the hammer on end number 3. There's Frauenlob here with Connor Simpson. Connor, just that little bit heavy on Kevin's last freeze attempt opened the door for Evan, and he made no mistake.
Yeah, both skips taking advantages of the other's misses early here. And we're going to see a similar setup to what it was last time, just different colors here.
That's true. This time it's Cooey playing to the wing. Van Amsterdam playing up the middle. I was just noting Parker's come around. Just saw how much late finish there is on these draws. I mean, that center guard pretty tight. And he wraps around there, you see coming into shot, biting full 8, nearly fully buried. Speaking of fully buried, lovely shot there from Carrick Martin. Talked about the importance of the lead position, both leads playing very well in the early going here.
I do go to wonder if all these teams talk about what they do in these situations with their fist stoned.
I have no doubt that they do, because the introduction of the no-tick zone and the 5 rock free guard zone combined make the shot choices around this 5th stone of the end always interesting, because you've got a pretty good idea what the setup before that is going to be. Center guard, come around center guard. Corner guard, come around corner guard. What you do on shot number 5, that's the interesting choice. And after some discussion, let's come around the corner, try to choke off the access around that corner guard. And pretty nice stone there. Second shot position, but really neutralizing the corner guard in the process. And that's a shot I always used to like to call myself in similar situations, not necessarily 5 rock free guard zone, but when your opponent's got the hammer, throws up a corner guard, you know he or she wants to use that corner guard. Well, one way to take it away is go there first, cut off the path around it. Bang. Not disturbing anything in the rings behind it, but does clear the center.
Yeah, now Van Amsterdam's got to make a choice if he's okay with having a blank this end. Or if he's going to go hard for the force.
That's a very important point, and I think, Connor, in a previous game we did together, you mentioned similar. I mean, on a third end, you're maybe, when you've got hammer, sacrificing some offensive potential to keep a blank alive, and I'm sure that'll be in the back of Evan Van Amsterdam's mind. He'll be saying, Kevin would be very happy to blank this end.
Yeah, you could argue he's going for the opposite of what the blank here.
Peeling corner, spreading stones wide on the house.
Pretty
Ken
good
Watson
result
curling.
right there.
Yeah, I think so too.
He did miss, but it's that right weight that they throw that it's an option if they were to wreck on that guard.
So guards are gone. The rocks are scattered left and right. Cailey looking over his shoulder at all the angles as Tardy delivers. And a shift of gears is Garrett Martin leaning on this for maximum finish. Just going to graze though and spill.
I don't think that's what they were doing there. I think they had a pick stone.
Do we think they picked? Well, we are kind of seeing some caretaking happening on the sheet behind and some puzzled expressions, so I think you're right, Connor. Something unplanned happened during the trip down.
Yeah, opportunity flipping here for Van Amsterdam to sit 4 after this shot.
Yeah, and ordinarily you'd say if you're sitting 4, boy, no chance that Kevin's going to blank from here. Well, you'd never say that against a Kevin Cooey team, but it'll certainly make it difficult to blank if you're going to be lying 4 after this.
Yeah, they could be gone next stone.
It's true, Aaron can throw heat, and we all know that Kevin can throw heat. Rocks in motion.
It's a
Good distribution.
Pretty good roll there. There's only one easy double there. And I'm not... there might be a triple off the top stone.
Kevin's thinking, there's a quad here, Aaron. Slash across the one on the left, go around the horn, kill them all. Here we go. Slishinsky firing it up. Fasten your seatbelts, everybody. Let's count them. 1 moving, 2 moving, stuffs it, kills 2, rolls away. And that that declutters things, and it does leave the natural double sitting in the back as well. Nice shot.
Yeah, pretty good result there. I don't think he could have hit it much better.
And Amsterdam knows that he's probably trading 2 for 1 here out. And can he get to the finish line with 2 in the rings is the big question.
Yeah, still important shots here, though.
Totally.
Make
Great
sure they're
chance.
spread out and at least make it as tough as possible.
No, absolutely. You get this one to tee line, and your probability of force goes up quite a lot. Pretty decent. Cailey recognizing that, saying, yeah, it's going to be hard to double and then double back the way that these things are spread across the ring. So I'm happy just to roll in front of that stone back 12 foot and switch the gears from blank to try to get a pair.
I do gotta say, Aaron Suchinski is fairly fast in the house, or in the hack here.
Well, you like to see it. I always like it when a player's loaded up, ready to play. Broom goes down, line it up, throw the shot. And that is a beauty roll.
A good sweep here by Carrick Martin to hold the line here early.
And a good read from Kevin as well as he gets the perfect roll. 2/3 frozen on that back rock. Kevin should be able to squeeze it out, but the question is, if he gets to nose, can he do that, or is he going to have to sacrifice his shooter in the process? It won't be light. Oh, terrific shot. Much harder than it looks to bang it on the nose when you're corner frozen like that and still squeeze it out of the rings. Very nice stone.
Yeah, it's such an advantage to have that big weight.
Yes, the heat with accuracy is such a weapon in this sport. Combine that with good line reading and excellent sweeping, and you can do a lot.
He's left with the decision here to either just play a freeze due to him having a hammer and not wanting to be forced. His best opportunity to get a blank is to do something, freeze the rock similar and try to get a miss out of Van Amsterdam to remove one of his stones, or create a miss and get a sneaky deuce out of the deal, I guess.
Well, just reading the body language between Aaron and Kevin, I think they've come to accept that even Kevin Cailey couldn't be thinking flat cross house double in this situation. That shot's just not there. So you accept that hitting something is only going to wind up giving you into a force situation. So you might as well take your shot.
Even if that shot is there, I wouldn't want to hear the loud bang that happens after on rock-to-rock contact.
No, that would be a handle rattler.
Don't think the ice tech will like it very much.
That's right. Kevin says, I want to throw it that hard. And ice techs are kind of closing their eyes and closing their ears and hoping. But this will be a delicate come-around draw. Needs to keep his stone half in the 8 foot, but also get some kind of cover behind that cornerstone. Pretty good. Leaves it sitting in shot position and at least makes Evan think about that stone in the front 8. Doesn't really have cover, but still got to get by that stone. Good news for Evan is don't have to worry about saving the shooter here. You're going to get the force as long as you can remove the red.
Yeah, I don't think you'd mind keeping the shooter around here. Adds one more stone.
Oh, for sure. Want to save the
But
shooter if you can, but you
not
sure
a
don't
not a
flirt with
worry.
that guard. Not at any price.
Oh
Nope.
yeah, he's losing the shooter here.
Yeah.
So curious to see if Kui picks the same draw path here.
Well, we're out to the edge of the 8-foot, so it's back in the old draw the button range for skipper Kevin Cooey. I think that's wise. Always give yourself more of the rings. Even though he did play down that path to the outturn, you'd say, why wouldn't he throw the same shot? Well, because your execution tolerance is less, you've got less ring to throw at. Whereas if you're coming outside 8 in, you've got the full depth of the 8-foot circle. Checks with his sweepers. And the pace to throw. And the final stone of end number 3 on its way, Kevin Cooey, drawing against 2. Sweepers like it. Just needs full 8-foot, and it will come to rest just past the tee line. So single point for Kevin Cooey. Nice shot, but a good force for Van Amsterdam. Cooey leads at 3-2. Van Amsterdam will have the hammer in end number 4. Welcome back to Swift Current, the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Kevin Cooey versus Evan Van Amsterdam in this B bracket game. Van Amsterdam forcing Cooey in the third. Cooey with a 3-2 lead. Van Amsterdam with hammer on end number 4. Winner of this game will advance in the B bracket to take on the winner of Kaltoff versus Moybrook. Great teams here this weekend, Connor.
Yeah, just a great lineup of teams. Slam caliber teams, just out of slam caliber teams. Men's and women's side. The women's playoffs will be happening tomorrow.
Right.
The final teams will, I'm pretty sure, grab their spots in this evening's draw.
Yes, some teams seeing that always happy to see stage of the tournament when you see qualified. That's always a happy day. One step towards cashing in.
Especially if you get to qualify that day early.
Yeah, that's like a bonus, isn't it? It's like a vacation.
You're in the new city, get to go tour.
Exactly.
Or practice, I mean.
Or both, you know. Live it up.
The men's A qualifiers are set for tomorrow morning.
Right.
With John Epping taking on Matt Dunstone. And Mike McEwen taking on... Wait, I think I got that wrong. I'll look it up and I'll... bring it back here.
Got Ryan Kleider taking on Matt Dunstone in the qualifier.
And then Mike McEwen taking on John Epping.
Yeah, so those should be a couple of dandies as you'd expect in an A qualifier. Interesting in setting up here. In Amsterdam, corner guard up, stone around the corner. Cooey with the stone on the lid, perfectly guarded. And now the blasting may begin. And speed wobble from Tyler Tardy coming out on that quick correction and a good clean release.
Rolling the shooter for another corner guard here for Van Amsterdam.
Yeah, that could be useful. And immediately saying, yep, kill the center, roll over towards that and start building up a bit of a wall on the left-hand side of the sheet. Or say, wait a minute, we can use that one as a corner guard and we can roll back in front of our own. A couple of options here. Sterling Middleton. Well, we'll just make the double and get a bit of a roll off the center line.
Second intern run back peel, and it seems like this is Sterling's shot here. Just clean intern peel.
Made a triple clear earlier, double clear here. Throwing very well indeed. Chinsky removing the yellow stone, gets a little bit of an inside roll, but still very available for Van Amsterdam. And they'd be feeling pretty good about where they're at this point in the game, I would have thought, Connor. That force in three, tilting the playing field ever so slightly in their direction, you feel? Statement of the obvious that they would love to score two here.
Sorry, I was on mute there.
No problem at all. Welcome back.
Saying, yeah. Saying yes and no there. Van Amsterdam's a really solid team. I know Jason and Sterling there both went to the Briar together the last couple of years as Team British Columbia. With different skips, Jacques Gauthier and Catlin Snyder is now playing with Team Carruthers.
A lot of big game experience out there on the ice today. That yellow guard just short of the rings. Very splittable.
Yeah, it's important for Cailey to keep his stones in play here. Or else you might see Van Amsterdam attempt it.
Looking for cover behind that stone at this point. It's going to spill into the open, however.
If I'm Van Amsterdam here, I don't know if I'm looking for a blank end here. I might be tempted on his next, depending where Cailey rolls here, to just draw one in there.
Yeah, it is a big call. I mean, the importance of hammer in the even ends and keeping control of those even ends in 8-end games starts to enter your thinking even at this part of the game. So I'm with you, Connor. Blanking 4 is certainly not choice 1 for Evan. But sometimes you don't get to choose your first choice.
Nope, that's curling.
Absolutely. After a bit of discussion around where they want to leave the roll, they wind up throwing it and whacking it on the nose.
Yeah, great sweep there by Tyler Turdy to hold the line for that one.
So now a shortish roll for Van Amsterdam to get behind cover. Try to force a miss from Kevin Cooey.
I think you want to go towards your corners here. You roll behind your center one, and it might be back T-line, and you might see Cooey attempt to freeze.
Well, from all the body language I've seen from Sterling through the shot call, it does look to me like they are looking to get behind that center guard, but you're right, they certainly would not want to go any deeper than straddling T-line at deepest. So the roll will have to be absolutely perfect. Otherwise, Kevin may very well come down and freeze, and he might do it anyways.
Looks like the front end has got a word to say to Evan here.
So rolling it to the wing is definitely an option. You've got a couple of stones out there in the corner guard position to get behind and get some cover. It is a longer roll. And we're not sure if they have switched gears or not. We're going to have a pretty good idea on release. Just based on the weight that Evan's going to throw at this. It looks like they're sticking with the original flight plan to me, Connor. I think he's looking for the inside roll here. Working really hard to keep it straight. I don't know if they're going to be able to save it or not. It's already at the center line. It's going to go across. Might get a piece, but I don't think he's going to stick around. And will he move that stone out of the rings at all? No, he will not. Cooey's stone will bite the back 12-foot. So that little bit of extra dialogue not converting into a shot result there for Van Amsterdam.
Yeah, there is this theory that goes on about talking about the shot and the hack. 9 times out of 10, if you're talking about the shot and the hack, you go on and miss it.
Yeah. I've always, I've always stressed with the teams that I used to play with when I played competitively, it wasn't kind of like say nothing, but if you're going to offer an idea, probably better to come forward on the ice and talk about it at the head rather than wait till you cut down into the hack to throw it. Because I'm with you. Once you're introducing a measure of doubt, by the time the person who's getting ready to throw it is ready to throw it, that's a bad time to introduce a thought of a different shot.
Yeah, well, draw opportunity here for Cooey. Put one in a good spot and get a sneaky steal.
Yeah, it's certainly set up the force, and you're exactly right with that center guard there. If he gets it into a great spot, he might be able to sneak the steal out of this as well. Good brushing. They bring it in to bite the 4-foot, so Evan Van Amsterdam is going to need to have nearly full 4-foot, drawing against 2, to save his point. And this end turned around in a hurry. So instead of having to think about, well, do I just kind of keep it open for an easy blank, but I don't really want a blank, to now, all of a sudden you're having to hit the 4-foot against a pair. Very different shot for Evan Van Amsterdam.
Sweepers look like they like it early here.
Yep, on and off, and now they're standing up and walking beside it, which is never a good sign. That usually tells you it's a couple of feet heavy. And this one is sliding and sliding and sliding, and it will slide into the back 8-foot, so it'll be a steal of 1 for Kevin Cooey. A cheeky steal, as Connor Sims put it, and that is absolutely what occurred. Cooey steals 1 and leads it 4-2 after 4. Inside corner freeze on second shot. If you can get it there, it would be a terrific angle and really cut off that intern side completely. It's a shot not without risk. A little wide, a little heavy. All of a sudden going, uh-oh.
Big crowd in Swift Current all weekend, as you can see the right of the screen there.
Well, just as Kevin drew it up, that's right where he patted his brush. And that is right where Aaron threw it. Great shot. And absolutely, Connor, terrific support in Swift Current for this event. One of the great curling towns on the face of the earth, Swift Current. Really love their curling, really know their curling. Very strong supporters of the sport of curling. World Championships have been held here. Always, always great support for our sport in this lovely town of Swift Current.
Draws happening all weekend, with the women's draw happening tonight, where the final 3 spots will be determined in the C qualifiers. One game will be between Caitlin Laws and Delaney Strauss, Ashley Thebino and Michelle Englot, and Danielle Inglis and Kayla McMillan.
Always an entertaining draw when qualifying spots are on the line.
Happening tonight at 9 p.m. Central Time. And you can catch all the action here live on Curling Zone.
Long discussion. And all hands have come forward this time as opposed to discussing shot options in the hack. This is a big moment you feel for this foursome. You can make a bad choice here, and Kevin Cooley continues to dominate the scoring area and either force you or steal against you. Could be lights out.
Yeah, you almost have to get on the back on the board here. 2 ends in a row. Giving up singles there. You have to get back on the board.
Yeah, scoring is a must. Scoring 2 is desired. Kevin Cooley and Tyler Tardy sharing a chuckle by the scoreboard.
Gotta talk about the great opportunity for Tyler Tardy to come play with a guy like Cooey to really start his men's career here. One of the best skips to ever play the game. Fresh out of juniors, and you're going to play with one of the greats.
Absolutely that. Well, that was always the formula. And way back when. And finished my junior curling. And your next objective was to get yourself playing front end with an experienced player with a lot of talent, and just slug it away in the front end and learn. And Tyler Tardy, boy, what a classroom you get playing alongside Kevin Cooley. Changes the angles and improves things quite a lot, I think. Certainly spinning the gears for Kevin right now. Angle's much better for Van Amsterdam all of a sudden.
Yeah, it definitely opened it up, and pretty hard for Kevin to get rid of Van Amsterdam stone right now.
Both of the yellow stones angled to jam the reds. Kevin said, can we guard it out? We're line 2.
Not shocked to see this.
Or do we come around the pile on line 3? And Garrett Martin's going to come down and have a word.
That the lead gets to say.
Here's what Dad would do.
Yeah.
That's great. Just that one little shot just changes the complexion of the end enormously.
I kind of like Kevin's call at the guard there. I think it forces Van Amsterdam to make a double peel or something, and then that top yellow is more easier to remove.
Kevin looking
And
at
if
all the
Van
angles.
Amsterdam elects to just draw around, you got a nose run on your center line guard there.
Well, we know that Kevin Cailey is the master of the run. So yeah, I'm with you, Connor. I mean, the guard is not a terrible call here by any means.
It's not like the ideal call, or I guess the numbers call when you're up 2. But
I mean, obviously better if you can wedge it in, but you're just making the degree of difficulty higher, saying that Aaron just made this shot. So we're expressing confidence that he can do it again. Do need to get across nose.
looks a little heavy, maybe.
Fraction heavy, but now it comes to rest.
Pretty good.
That is pretty good. Takes away the easy tap. Although Evans says, we can still see a corner. We're going to make a play at this thing, do you think? Is he actually going to be audacious enough to play at the corner of that front yellow? It looks like it. Yep.
Yeah,
Go by
I
that
mean,
stone that Aaron just threw, pick the yellow, drive it onto the red. Wow, tough shot. Jason Ginter lines it up. Here we go. Super tough shot. Not going to get contact. Hits the back stone, pushes away the back red, spills to the wing himself. Yellowstone out counting the red stone in the 12-foot, so there's some small consolation, but Cooey still lying one guarded with that stone overlapped in front of it. That's very well defended right now.
who do you think is fourth shot stone right now?
Fourth shot, I think it's yellow from this angle.
Think
Hard to say when it's that wide on the rings, but if you look on the left-hand side of the shot, it looks like red, and if you look at the overhead, it looks like yellow, so it's really hard to say.
That could come into play here.
It very well could. That red-yellow combination, corner welded front 8. It's going to be hard to move, though. So do we think Kevin's just coming around the pile into the button area here, Connor?
Yeah, I mean, best guard is another one in the ring sometimes, so beats Evan into this position.
It's a very good point, because you know if you leave it for Evan, he's going to throw it. So you might as well beat him to it. Need to be second shot, and he is. Perfect weight control and very well read by the sweepers.
Yeah, I don't
Great
think
shot.
you could have picked that rock up and placed it any better.
Yeah, that is an absolute hummer of a shot, because now, even if you can somehow angle run yellow, yellow into red, it's not going to be shot. And I don't think you could. There's that angle. If you drive the yellow in from the side onto the yellow, it will hit the red, but the stone just delivered by Kevin would outcount it. So that's not really an option. Sterling's looking at it.
Yeah,
So
if
hammered
I'm in Amsterdam here right now, I'm just looking at what my best way to score here is, because right now it's, and I would be tempted to peel the guards. I know it's not ideal, not skating 2 here, but I think it's have to accept the fact that you're most likely getting forced here.
Yeah, I don't see an outshot either, Connor. You're exactly that. So this is your one possibility at a setup. So what Sterling was saying was slash the yellow into the nose of the red, you're going to lose the yellow, but you're going to plant the yellow, and maybe if you're lucky, you get some dragon action on the right hand of the 2 stones in the 4-foot. It's a pretty unlikely combination of events. Challenge of trying to clear the center, of course, is, well, can you clear both of them? They're stacked up right beside each other. Hard to double clear them and clear your own shooter away. So that's not an easy option either. So after all of the discussion, it does look like they're going to go back and try the shot that Jason Ginter tried, which is pick the yellow, angle drive it into the red, and accept that you're going to be second shot, even if you make it. Lots and lots of angles and combinations and permutations out here in Swift Current. In diving terms, you would call this a high degree of difficulty dive for Evan van Amsterdam.
Should be close.
He picks the front red. So that corner freeze from Aaron Sliczynski, acting as a guard, gets the job done, catches it going by. Cailey lies 1, 2, 4 currently. And you'd have to say, really nothing doing on the intern side right now for Evan.
Yeah, all he's got is a shot to give up one and on that intern side. If he was to throw right now, not including Kevin Stone. That's about
Slash on the outside one doesn't do you any good. Redirects to nose, you're still second shot. Yellow to red leaves you second shot. Jump off the red. Thin it and feather it. It's probably Evan's easiest way to score right now, and even that's hard.
Yeah, I can't tell hear what they're saying obviously here, but you can tell by their broom motions that they're looking at every single shot here because of the respect they have for one another. Shots that if you're playing in your local club league or something that, like here, you don't want to leave those shots for these players.
Well, right now, the easiest shot that Evan would have to score, draw the tee line. Kevin's saying, can I put it in a spot that cuts that off and also complicates things for Evan?
I bet you Kevin's looking at a way to steal more than a single here.
Yeah, you're probably right, and I would have to, you never want to question Kevin Cailey, but you have to think that stealing one here gives you massive control of the game. And the last thing you'd want to do right now, from my mind, you can lock up the steal easily. But if you get a little bit greedy trying to steal two, maybe if you make a tiny little error on a guard or something like that, then you're opening the door for Evan to save the end. And all of a sudden now you're only one up and you're feeling not so great about it. So if I'm in Kevin's situation right now, I'm doing everything I can to say, let's lock up a steal. And if it's a steal of one, happy days.
I think I like the nose freeze on the rock he just drew. Let Van Amsterdam draw the side of the button for his one.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, it sounds kind of boring. I'm throwing a guard sitting out there right on the S3 logo.
And
sitting on the number 3 and he's got nothing. So the brush position, edge of button. So I do think after all that discussion, you can see that
I think they're going with your shot there.
Yeah, well, if you get a rock on that number 3 of the logo, I just don't see a shot for Evan.
Yeah. Besides that shot on the right-hand side to give up one, but...
Well, exactly. There's certainly a shot to cut down to one, but there's no shot to score.
Yeah.
Shot on its way after a long discussion. We believe this is a middle longish guard trying to cut down the angle like a good NHL goalie. Trying to take away multiple shots from Evan for his last one. Big carving sweep from Carrick here. This one's still on the center guard. He's gonna bump it, gonna move it. Not gonna get the job done as far as a guard goes. After that long discussion, pretty ugly result, to be honest.
Yeah, it looked like it never really caught the curl there off the line. I can't tell if he was wide or not or what, but
you know, these guys are looking at a triple here. I don't know.
Scoreboard says, in my opinion, take one and
Totally.
take your chances in the 6th. But they will probably prove us wrong.
Well, you know, if you throw it really, really hard, and Evan can throw it really, really hard, there is an opportunity to get 3 in motion and maybe score 2, and those 2 in the back. Who knows? Maybe yellow's out counting red.
Well,
so maybe the calculation
is, does the triple not catch that back red?
You'd think so. You'd think that something is going to jam somewhere if 3 Red Rocks go in motion. But, well, we're about to find out. It's going to be entertaining anyways, folks, so get your replay buttons ready. Final stone of end number 5. This is going to be a heater. Evan Van Amsterdam looking to get 3 stones in motion and somehow score and maybe get a multiple. Slams nose, rolls across. It will be a steal of 2 for Kevin Cooey. Van Amsterdam slams the brush down in disappointment, but to be honest, I don't think the shot choice was a great one. Easy to say in hindsight. You got to go for it when you think you have a chance, but it's a steal of 2 for Cooey, taking a 6-2 lead here in Swift Current. Exactly that. A warm welcome back to Swift Current. RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Kevin Cooey taking on Evan Van Amsterdam in the B bracket. Let's Frauenlob here with Connor Sims, and we spent the entire break talking about the shot choice of Team Van Amsterdam on the last and the merit of trying what looked to us to be at least an incredibly difficult shot to try and score 2 versus taking the option of a much more makeable draw for 1 in that situation. And as we see so often, teams feeling like they have to take extra risk and sometimes unnecessarily risk and effectively taking yourself out of the game in the process. Score of 1, it's a 4-3 game, has a different complexion. It's still uphill either way for Team Van Amsterdam, but dropping the steal, whether it was a steal of 1 or 2, means you're down 3, now down 4, and that road home looks like a mountain to climb for Team Van Amsterdam from here, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Start trying to get your 2 or 3 back here and go on a steal train.
2 corners up for Van Amsterdam. And now we get another entertaining moment around, okay, what are we going to do with shot number 5 this time, Kevin? Choke off the corner. What do you think, guys? Guys aren't sold. Stack them up in the middle. Tyler says, why wouldn't we? Wins the argument. One thing you got to know for sure, you don't want to be short of the rings. Draw shot on its way for Tyler Tardy.
Another good setup by both leads here. Both playing impressive so far.
Parker and Carrick both having very good games. A little bit over enthusiastic there from Tyler. Under curls, maybe a fraction heavier than he would have liked. Splits them open. Chokes off the left-hand corner guard in the process, but I'm sure Kevin would have preferred them a little bit more lined up than they are right now. Sterling Middleton. Looking to lob one on top of the pile here. Nice shot.
Great shot.
I've been taking a look at
Cailey's
the
gonna
angles
take
on these corners.
Yeah, Cailey's gonna take no part in this and trying to bring the play, get the play away from the wings here.
Yeah, very sensible call up 4. Look at this helicopter. No chance in the world that was ever going to stick around if it made contact. First player I saw throwing a big helicopter handle like that, the great John Kawaja from the Ed Wernick teams, the 1980s. First player I saw throwing lots and lots of handle on big weight hits. Van Amsterdam shrugs his shoulders. He's like, I gotta move something here, guys, but I don't really want to move anything, but we have to. You don't really feel good about any choice when you're moving stones, but you know you're gonna have to move stones to score.
I like that call here. Just tap that top red back a little bit, create a little bit of a pocket, sit on top of your yellow.
Yeah,
And
I think
make Cailey make the play here.
talked about coming just around the corner to the back 8. That's an option as well. The way that red-yellow is overlapped in the front, though, I'm with you, Connor. I wouldn't mind moving that red back a couple of inches at least. I think you could just bump it forward an inch. Leave yourself nearly frozen and overlap that Yellowstone in the process. But when you're down 4 in this situation, nothing is looking fantastic. Because you know in your heart of hearts, you don't score at least 2 here, it's probably game over. And even if you do score 2, it's going to be tough. So you're thinking 3. After a long discussion, Middleton sends this rock into our living rooms. This one over curling, going to bounce the yellow in the process, spill behind the corner guard. That is a very nice shot, actually. Acknowledged by Evan. Gets some separation, pushes his own stone behind the corner guard. Worth another look, Connor.
Yeah, just another great weight choice, I find. Just really giving it to the sweepers and letting Evan make the line call here to get a perfect roll buried and create that pocket.
So the rocks, no more freezes, no more jams. They're spread out along the tee line or just in front of it. So that's helpful from a Van Amsterdam team point of view.
I think Cailey's looking at a little round the horn action here.
It's tempting, isn't it? They're kind of lined up a little bit. You don't really want to have a bunch of rocks in play, even if they're your own. But
No, hey,
you can also overthink a situation when you're up 4. Instead of playing the obvious thing, okay, well, there's an opponent's stone. Why don't you just hit the darn thing? Don't worry about too much about around the horn fireworks.
Yeah.
The reason I say that, 2 here, you drop 2 here if you're Kevin Cooey. 2 up playing 7, no problem at all. The only thing you want to take off the table right now is the 3 ball. And And if he ever started
Yeah, I
attacking,
don't know what the best play here is.
well, I do know what the safest play is.
Hit the open one.
Hit the open one.
I think it's a little bit of concern for Kui here that there's that pocket in those red ones, and if Van Amsterdam locks it in there, it's gonna be a tough way to get rid of their stones.
That's absolutely true. That's the trade-off. You play the open one, you're saying, okay, I'm going to leave those red ones there for Evan to use. Yep, absolutely. My answer back to that would be, cool. He locks one on there. Great. How does he score 3? Well, they are going to go to this stone in the wings, so they're going to accept this extra risk. They're going to come around this corner guard, play the higher of the 2 opponent stones. Flirting with that corner guard, my goodness, making it look absolutely easy. That is not easy, and that was a risky choice in that situation, but executed fantastically by Sluchinski.
Just perfect throw here. Tardy holds the line here.
Yeah, Aaron's had a very nice game.
Skinnies the guard and rolls, takes away the pocket. No more freeze for Evan there.
Terrific shot. This shows the confidence that these teams have got. Even 4 up, you're going to say, I'm going to take a ton of extra risk here just to make a better shot. And they executed it perfectly. Hit and roll back behind that corner guard. So Team Van Amsterdam doing what they can to keep a possibility of a multiple alive.
Yeah, it's
3
rolled
rocks
a little
each to
bit
come.
too far.
It did a little bit
Kui's
too
now
far.
the 4th shot stone here, so
Right.
might make his decision a little easier on this one.
Yeah, good call, Connor. See the stone on the left-hand side of the overhead picture, that yellow stone being outcounted by that red stone at the right-hand side of the 8-foot. So exactly right, Connor. That makes this shot choice much more direct for Kevin Kui. Sluchinski, a little inside out on that out turn, but not too much concern. Now sweeping for curl. No problem at all. Kevin Kui, a little insult to injury, gets the nearly perfect nose weld freeze as a bonus out of the roll. That means Evan's going to have to spend 2 stones getting rid of it. But in poker terms, Evan's all in right now. Which means he wants to play a hit and roll, get a 2nd stone behind that corner guard, even if it's 3rd or 4th shot.
Yeah, he makes this. He could put quite a bit of pressure here on Kevin. He just rolls right into that yellow-red pocket there.
Absolutely. Even directly on top of his yellow. Either way, as long as he's got cover behind the corner. Does make things much more difficult for Team Kui. Jason Ginter. Doesn't want to push that yellow out of the rings. Keeps it on the rings.
Kind of Christmas treed them a little bit.
Yeah, he did. The back of the 2 stones quite accessible, and that's what Aaron was just pointing at with his brush. So yeah, what if we just hit the back one? Kevin says, how much of that one can we see? Always looking for a little bit more, Kevin Kui. If you hit the back one, worst case scenario, you're dropping 3. Line 2 right now. Could draw a third shot around the corner guard. Corner frees the yellow, but that's taking on a lot of risk.
Kind of what
This
I'm
is what
seeing
happens if
here
we
in a
freeze
way.
our own.
Kevin's been confident with his draw weight all game. You ever just lock one on those yellows, it might be a. But
Front
again,
is saying
very
you're Kevin. Front end
very
saying you're
risky.
Kevin Cooey. What happens if you hit the corner and just pile them back into the pile and kill everything?
Mike and Aaron's call here, just hit the wide one. Force Evan to make a shot here.
Yeah, that was Aaron's instinct right from the get-go. Hit that back one. We're playing 7-1 up in the very worst outcome. But after some discussion, it does look like they are taking a run at this corner guard. Come across off nose, rocket it back towards the pile and hope the granite flies. Here we go. Not laying a brush to it yet.
Very close. Oh,
There's one, there's two. Triple was never there, but removes 2 yellow stones and opens things up. Always fun to watch Kevin Cooey throw a clear.
It's just perfectly thrown. Teacher, sweeper's aiming at to touch it.
So that virtually guarantees taking 3 off the board, even if Evan makes this great. Kevin, if he chose, could just hit the stone in the open, give up a score of 2 happily. Great execution, and we shouldn't be surprised anymore after the incredibly stellar career of Kevin Cooey that he makes shots of that quality seemingly in his sleep.
One of the only players to still throw with that backswing too.
And it is interesting because he's always taking the backswing even on the draw, but when he's bringing the heat, it doesn't quite go Bob Pickering backswing, but that backswing comes up hip high, and it is a sight to behold when Kevin Cooey comes rocketing out of the hack. Great roll there from Evan.
Yeah.
A little bump on that center one going by, and Sterling apologizes and replaces it.
Makes Cooey think here.
Yeah, a bit of a sucker play for me, to be honest here. It's kind of like, come on. Whack the open one, give him 2.
Yeah, yep. Put the room down. I would already be in the hack throwing.
Yeah.
But they're looking at the draw here, so they must see something that we're not.
Well, you can certainly get one behind the center guard, and you can make that shot for 2 more difficult in the process. There's no doubt about that, but you're taking on a lot of risk in doing it, and you whack the open one. You're still giving him the shot for 2, but you're basically wearing no risk at all throwing it. So I think they've settled on the sensible play, even if it feels suboptimal. And that's entirely dictated by the scoreboard.
Here's that backswing.
Yeah, 1 up, you probably don't play this shot. 4 up, you play this shot all day long. Vaporizes the stone, and it will be a draw to the 8-foot for a score of 2 for Evan Van Amsterdam to give him a pulse. But Cooey will carry the hammer into the 7th 2 up at worst.
6 to
It's definitely a more liberating feeling, 2 up playing 7, because you don't feel like you have to cute your way around the end to think about blanking and preserving hammer for the 8th. You know that scoring is a good result, so it totally changes your mindset for how you play the 7th end. You're still keeping it tidy, but you don't feel that niggle of uncertainty that you do when you're only 1 up.
Well, in worst case, you give up a steal and you're up
Exactly.
1 with hammer in the 8th.
Evan does his part.
Evan.
Yep, puts it on the lid. So he does his part to keep himself alive. 2 on the board for Van Amsterdam, closes the deficit to 6-4 as we head for the 7th end here in Swift Current. Seventh end of action here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current. Kevin Cailey enjoying a 6-4 lead over Evan Van Amsterdam. Cailey with the hammer here in the 7th. Hans Frauenlob along with Connor Sims. Team Cailey with a bit of a stranglehold here, but Evan hanging on with that pair in the 6th. Speaking of hanging on, Stone hangs in the back of the 12. Carrick Martin. Good look at the spectators here.
From the bleachers to behind the glass, getting cold.
Well, you know, you got to be strategic about when you get your coffee and when you bring it back, and when you warm up and when you cool down. We talked about these spectators in Swift Current knowing their curling. It's also knowing how to manage your core temperature.
2 great stones there by Carrick Martin, really sets the end of.
Really does. Makes it really tough now for Evan to get to that button area.
We got 4 other games going on right now between all B-side games, I believe. I think the only C-side game is the Daniel Casper versus Ethan Sampson. The score of that game is 6-4. Drew Height taking on Owen Purcell. Purcell's leading that one 5-3. Gushu defeated the home province team Kelly Knapp 6-2. And Sam Moybrook is down 3-2 versus Dustin Kaltoff. You can catch all the action in any game you want live on Curling Zone.
Thanks for the update, Connor. Winner of this game will face the winner of that match between Kaltoff and Moybrook. Guards peeled away. So all the play in the rings now. Just the way that Kevin Cailey likes it in this situation. Sure, Kevin wasn't thrilled about conceding a 2 in the 6th, but up 4, absolutely the right play. Playing it conservative to make sure he wasn't dropping 3, and there was no chance in the world that Evan could score 3 with it, even with his circus shot. And in return, you get the hammer back.
I know we talked about it already earlier this game, but it just goes to show you the importance of the lead stones in this end. Carrick Martin made 2 perfect stones in the top 4 foot there, and 1 missed stone there by the lead for Van Amsterdam. Really puts the pressure on Van Amsterdam to try to generate a steal out of this end.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Carrick's had an excellent game, both throwing them and brushing them. Kevin knows that in this situation, locking up a score is job one, and those 2 stones that Carrick threw increase the probability of scoring for Kevin up into the very high probability area indeed. But very nice freeze there from Team Van Amsterdam, lining them up and causing a little bit of concern on the expression now of Kevin Cailey. That's a very nice shot.
Is that ever forcing Kui to have to remove one of his own stones right now?
Well, you know in his heart that Kevin does not want to unlock those 2 reds. But he's thinking about it. Because he knows yellow, yellow, red, red unlocks the back. And they'll virtually be lined up to do that again 1 or 2 shots later. So he's doing the mental calculations and thinking these 2 reds are probably goners if we don't do anything right now. Everybody's going to come up and have a look and have a chat. Problem is those 2 yellows are welded so well, there's not a lot you can do to change the angles and improve things from a Kui perspective.
Yeah, if you're Kui, you almost probably just have to accept that you're losing your one of your reds here, and maybe play it with less weight and try to keep your back red in the back of the house somewhere. But
well, that gives us an idea. We can see what Kevin's doing, so that tells me the blast is being dialed up. You would be thinking
get a stopwatch on this one.
Exactly. You'd think, would you ever guard in this situation? I don't know. Probably not. That's certainly not what's coming here from Aaron Sluchinski. Going to try and rattle him around. He's going to sacrifice at least one of his own in the process. Bang, 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 bang. Rocks flying everywhere.
Easy.
Waving it out of the ring. Spins back. Man, oh man, what a shot. Very nearly cleared the house entirely. Eric Martin with a big grin on his face saying, how'd you do that? Wow, look at the action here. Watch the rocks from above. Going left, going right, going back, picking off the one in the back ring. Yellow one spinning back on the rings, but wow, what a terrific shot from Aaron. Just like that, the end looks safe for Kevin Cailey. Oh my goodness,
oh, no.
This one over curling and will miss completely. Kevin could see that coming. He was already over on the other side of the sheet lining it up. And the clock is ticking very much against Van Amsterdam right now. So after that circus shot, Sluchinski with a much more straightforward hit here. Good execution, sits on the rings, Cailey line 2. And even though there's 4 rocks yet to come, it does have the feeling of, well, if not game over, certainly game in incredibly strong favor of Kevin Cailey right now.
2 great shots by Aaron Sluchinski there to really put the pressure on Van Amsterdam, and
yeah, that first
arguably
clear was
could have been a game winner.
Yeah, an absolute game winner. What a great shot that was. 6 rocks in motion. Going in every direction. They're going left, they were going right, they're going back, they're going sideways. Fantastic shot.
So Van Amsterdam electing to throw the center guard here.
Yes, interesting choice. Looked at going around the corner guard. well, it's not the corner guard, the stone in the front 12 foot, but deciding that that probably wasn't going to be good enough, and so electing to throw it in the front ring instead. Thinking that if we go to the wing, that's never going to be good enough for a steal. So better get one into the center and hope.
Cooey's already lining it up. Getting ready to jump up there and just get rid of that stone there.
Exactly. Which way are we going to hit it? We're going to hit it this way, Aaron. Roll it over there just for fun. Put it in the middle of the rock. Fire away.
Curling is fun when you're winning.
Yeah, well, it sure is. And feels great. You know, Kevin has always been a fantastic front runner. You get a 2 or 3 point lead on a Kevin Cooey team, you're feeling pretty good about your chances. Because the skipper can do that at will. Peeling machine, Kevin Cooey. So last roll of the dice really here for Evan Van Amsterdam. Okay, well, nowhere to hide. Have to freeze shot rock and hope that Kevin misses the 8 foot. But got to be perfect, because if it's not nose frozen, you know that Kevin is just going to whack it. And if a 2 goes on the board, I think we're shaking hands. Freeze attempt on its way for Van Amsterdam. One of these shots where the only good place for it is perfect. No execution tolerance here at all. Sweeping for distance and curl. It's going to come up short, and this feels like easy pickings for Kevin Cooey. As he cleans the path of the ice for what he feels in his heart, and I'm sure the rest of his teammates feel the same way. Could be the final shot of this game. Last rock coming up on the 7th end. Chance for Kevin Cooey. Certainly to score 2, potentially to score 3, and potentially win the game. Cooey's already walking after this one. Hands are going in the air, and that will be the score of 2. And will we play more, or will we not? Nope, that will be enough, says Evan Van Amsterdam, congratulating Team Kevin Cooey. As Cooey picks off that stone, scores 2 to lock up this one and advance in the B bracket. Final score, Kevin Cooey 8, Evan Van Amsterdam 4. Connor, that was quite a game.
Yeah, it was. This game was closer than the score. Just, I would argue a questionable call in the 5th end that led to the steal of 2.
Yep, I agree. That felt decisive at the moment. Van Amsterdam had a chance to close it up to 1, elected to play a really high degree of difficulty shot to try and get 2. Cooey stooled the 2, gave him a 4-point lead, and never looked back. So Kevin Cooey and company advance in the B bracket here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current. More curling action to come, one more draw today and more action tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on Curling Zone and Curling Stadium. For Connor Sims, I'm Hans Frauenlob. Thank you very much for joining us from Swift Current.